The church bell rang across the small town, soft but steady. It echoed between houses, slipping through open windows. Inside one of those houses lived the Miller family. Daniel Miller adjusted his tie in front of the mirror. He looked tired. Not sleepy tired, but the kind that comes from carrying many thoughts and never setting them down. In the kitchen, his wife Sarah poured coffee into 3 cups. Her movements were careful, almost quiet, as if sound itself might break something fragile. Their daughter Lily sat at the table, staring at her phone. She was 16, old enough to feel everything deeply and young enough to hide it well. Sunday mornings always looked the same in this house. Clean clothes. Short prayers. Quiet tension. Daniel cleared his throat. "Let's go. We don't want to be late." They drove to church together. They always did. From the outside, the Millers looked like a perfect Christian family. From the inside, something was missing. The church was full. Songs rose into the air, hands lifted, eyes closed. Daniel sang every word. He knew them all. Sarah bowed her head during prayer. Her lips moved, but her mind wandered. She thought about the argument from last night, about how tired she felt, about how alone she felt, even sitting next to her husband. Lily did not sing. She watched people instead. She wondered if anyone else felt empty while smiling. The pastor spoke about love, about forgiveness, about following Jesus, not just believing in him. Daniel nodded at the right moments. Sarah whispered, "Amen." Lily felt a strange ache in her chest. When the service ended, people shook hands and smiled. "God bless you. Have a great week." The Millers said the same words. Then they went home. Lunch was quiet. Plates clinked. The clock ticked loudly on the wall. Daniel finally spoke. "Lily, why didn't you sing today?" Lily did not look up. "Did it matter?" Daniel frowned. "It shows respect." She met his eyes. "Does it show love?" The question landed hard. Sarah stepped in quickly. "Let's not argue today." Daniel pushed his chair back. "I work all week. I take you both to church. I do my part." Lily stood up. "Is that all Jesus asked us to do?" She left the room before anyone could answer. Sarah stared at her husband. "She's hurting, Daniel." Daniel sighed. Teenagers always are. But deep down, he felt uneasy. 2 days later, there was a knock. Sarah opened the door to find an elderly woman standing there. Her clothes were clean but worn. Her eyes were kind but tired. "I'm sorry to bother you," the woman said softly. "My name is Ruth. My car broke down a few streets away. Could I use your phone?" Sarah hesitated. She thought about dinner cooking, about time, about safety. Then she remembered a verse she once loved. "Come in," she said. Ruth smiled. They talked while Sarah made tea. Ruth spoke about her late husband, about moving town to be near her son who never visited. When Ruth left, she held Sarah's hands. "Thank you for seeing me." That night, Sarah felt something warm in her chest. Something real. Daniel barely noticed. That evening, Lily sat on her bed reading a Bible she had not opened in months. She stopped at a verse where Jesus said, "Why do you call me Lord and do not do what I say?" Tears filled her eyes. At dinner, she asked quietly, "Dad, what does it mean to follow Jesus?" Daniel answered quickly, "To believe in him. To go to church." Lily shook her head. "But he talked about loving enemies, helping the poor, forgiving again and again." Daniel snapped. "This world doesn't work like that." Lily whispered, "Then are we following him, or just the idea of him?" Silence filled the room. The next week, Daniel was passed over for a promotion. He had worked harder than anyone. Anger burned inside him. On his way home, he saw a man sitting on the sidewalk holding a cardboard sign. "Hungry. Anything helps." Daniel walked past. Then he stopped. For a moment, he remembered the sermon. The verses. Lily's question. He turned back, reached into his wallet, and handed the man some money. The man looked up. "God bless you." Daniel nodded, but his chest felt tight. He was not sure why. That night, Daniel and Sarah argued again. Louder this time. "You're never here," Sarah said. "You're always angry," Daniel replied. Lily listened from her room, holding her pillow, praying quietly. Suddenly, Sarah broke down. I feel like we talk about Jesus more than we live like him. The words cut deep. Daniel had no answer. A few days later, Ruth collapsed at a grocery store. Sarah happened to be there. She stayed with her until the ambulance came. At the hospital, Ruth squeezed Sarah's hand. I was scared to be alone. Sarah stayed until Ruth's son arrived hours later, barely looking at his mother. When Sarah came home, she told Daniel everything. For the first time in years, she said, I felt close to Jesus. Daniel listened. Really listened. Lily began volunteering at a local shelter after school. She did not tell anyone at first. One evening, Daniel saw her sorting donated clothes. Why are you doing this? He asked. She answered softly. Because Jesus would. Daniel watched her for a long moment. Something inside him broke. That night, Daniel stood alone in the bathroom. He looked at his reflection. He thought about church songs, about arguments, about walking past people in need. He whispered, Lord, I say your name, but I don't always hear your voice. For the first time, his prayer was not polished. It was honest. The next Sunday felt different. The Millers still went to church. But this time, Daniel held Sarah's hand. Lily sang. After service, they did not rush home. They stayed. They spoke to people. They listened. Daniel noticed the lonely faces he had ignored before. Life did not suddenly become easy. They still argued sometimes. They still failed. But small changes appeared. Daniel apologized when he was wrong. Sarah opened their home more often. Lily smiled more. Not because life was perfect, but because her faith felt real. One evening, they sat together, reading the Bible aloud. Daniel spoke slowly. I think I finally understand something. Sarah and Lily listened. We can say we believe in Jesus. We can sing about him. But obedience is love in action. It's choosing his way, even when it costs us. Lily nodded. Faith isn't just words. It's footsteps. Daniel smiled, tears in his eyes. Outside, the church bell rang again. This time, it sounded different. Believing in Jesus is easy. Obeying him is harder. But real faith is not proven by what we say on Sunday. It is shown by how we love, forgive, serve, and live every day.